show where we're here to push to glow. I wanted to go over overbearing parents or strict parents or stubborn parents. If you haven't experienced that, you've seen someone who dealt with it. And many times we feel trapped or we can't be ourselves because of the authority, that authoritative pressure. So it can be difficult and challenging to embrace your own character and your own individuality. But never be afraid to stand up for yourself. What's for you is for you. Your path is your path. And there's times where we get challenged by family patterns that haven't been broken because healing wasn't involved. And a lot of trauma that spills over into parenting skills that we just need to become better aware of and just take that time to self-reflect and incorporate new things so we don't repeat those patterns. Everybody has their own choices and decisions to make. Your parents had them. And they had the opportunity to make the choices and decisions that they, experienced in their lives. So you have the right to make those choices for yourself. So never feel afraid to stand up for your beliefs and your values to match your full happiness. It's okay. I've been there. I've had that experience. And it's difficult because you don't want to impose any type of conflict or disappointment. But when you do so and you suppress your feelings, then you're creating unhappiness within yourself. And that's no quality, healthy way of living or having a healthy relationship with your parents. By all means, respect needs to be there. But it needs to be on both sides to where there is a balanced and equal, healthy relationship between the parent and the child. And sometimes we go into muddy waters because we are afraid of the authoritative pressures upon, what parents proceed upon us. And you feel as if you don't have a voice, you misunderstood, or you're just feeling trapped and you tend to isolate yourself. And again, that's going down that unhealthy path that is just not a good feeling. Sometimes when parents do not do their own self-healing, it can become a trickling effect in their parenting skills to where you don't realize you're in a codependent relationship. There's a difference between codependent relationships and interdependent relationships. And I'll go ahead and break those down. A codependent is someone who cannot function on their own and whose thinking and behavior is instead organized around another person, process, or substance. Interdependence involves a balance of self and others within the relationship, recognizing that both partners are working to be present and meet each other's physical and emotional needs in an appropriate and meaningful way. So there you guys have it, the definition between the two. And I also wanted to share a chart that I found from Sharon Martin, a medical personnel, that breaks down the indicators and the factors of those relationships. So here's the chart, guys, and I'm not going to read everything in detail, but I'll just name just a few. Codependency, what those factors represent. One person does most of the giving and receives little support or help in return. Enabling is disguised as help, and it creates dependency and stunts personal growth. There's enmeshment, or a merging of identity and feelings, so that neither person functions like a whole independent person. You lose sight of your own interests, goals, values, and instead do and say what your partner wants. And here are some factors in an interdependency relationship. There is mutual reliance on each other, a balanced give and take. Acts asking for and giving help promotes growth, learning, and self-sufficiency. You have a sense of being your own separate, independent person. You feel free to be your authentic self. Now that is important. Being who you are, being true to yourself, walk your truth, stand in your truth, because that creates self-fulfillment and that creates self-desire and motivation to influence others to do the same. And once you are happy and believing in who you are, then you will go ahead and transform that energy to empower others to walk that path. So don't be afraid to put yourself first. When you're not happy, no one around you will be happy. Don't be afraid to say no. I know it's tough, and I know it hurts to say no to your loved ones. But what good are you if you're drained and empty? Also, effective communication is very key and healthy to a balanced relationship. So don't be afraid to have that conversation or vocalize what your true values are to your parents. Yes, it may be uncomfortable in the moment. And if you have trouble vocalizing, write a letter. But you want to honor the balanced and healthy relationship that can be and grow from that dynamic. So again, guys, I want you to be yourself. Be yourself first, because your life is intended for you to live, and then everyone's surrounding you will live in their truth. So I want to go ahead and take this time to get some additional messages from the Oracle cards, and if you guys that's not your thing, just go ahead and click right on off. So, and I'll see you guys next time, but I'll go ahead and pull an Oracle card for any additional advice that someone may need right now. So 2 cards fell out. This one says surrender to setting limits. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. Isn't that crazy, guys? Isn't that what we were just discussing? Do not be afraid to say no. Do not be afraid to set those boundaries, because that is going to create the balance. And that's going to create happiness, not within yourself, but everyone who is around you. Being in your truth is not only should be important to you, but it should be important to your support system as well. Let's see what the second card says. Surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. So in those moments of frustration where you're feeling like your voice is not being heard by your parent, just go ahead and take some time and recenter yourself. Take some time to get in that zen so you can get in that clear headspace to have that conversation. Because sometimes it is necessary to deliver and communicate your desires. Because if you are not happy, how can anyone else be happy around you? Energy transfers. We can pick up on that. Anyone around you can pick up on that. And you suppressing your feelings is not going to help any situation, any, between both parties. just not going to do anything. We're just going to keep wasting energy, keep feeling drained, keep feeling depleted, and that's not the path that you want to take. And again, in those frustrating times, when you're feeling like your voice is not being heard, don't be afraid to take a step back, walk away, regroup yourself, and come back to the conversation. Because every voice is important. And I am so glad that I was able to have this conversation with you guys. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.